Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Because on August 11th, we're going to have Crucible of the Gods being dropped on us. That is the update that Skyforge will add the God abilities, finally. But they're going to add a bunch of stuff. This video will just concentrate on the God's ability, the divine forms, and what they are, and depending on which class, which one you get. So why don't we just jump right into it? Let's do this. And you're probably wondering what the heck this form is. It's basically a big buff. You can even consider it a stance. It boosts all your stats. It's crazy. So you get more movement speed, you get the range of your attack is increased, your damage output's increased, and if you're defeated while you're in your form, then you'll just revert back to your immortal form. So it's pretty crazy. And all these forms are broken down depending on what class you're playing. For these divine ultimate abilities, you're broken down into 5 classes. So you have your tank, you have your casters, you have your support, you have your ranged, and you have your melee divine forms. So first, the tanks. In the tanks, you will have your paladin and your knight. Under casters, you have your cryomancer, your necromancer, your witch, and your kinetic. Under support, it will be the lightbinder and the alchemist. Under ranged, you have the archer and the gunner. And under melee, you have slayer, monk, and berserker. Each of these groups have access to one divine ability. So starting off with the tanks. They have access to divine presence. Alternating the laws of the universe and warping space itself, the god creates a black hole above themselves, pulling in nearby enemies. Over time, the hole grows larger, pulling more and more helpless targets in until eventually it explodes, hurling them in all directions. The caster has access to divine authority. The god summons a fast-growing vortex filled with bolts of lightning which strike at groups of enemies. After a few seconds, enemies find themselves at the center of the storm, where they take incredible amounts of damage. Now the caster has access to divine army. The god becomes invulnerable and deals increased damage for a period of time. This effect also spreads to nearby allies. So that one pretty much sounds just strictly support, which I guess makes sense for the support class. Now, the ranged have an ability called Divine Wrath. The god launches lightning into the sky. A few moments later, it strikes all nearby enemies, inflicting massive damage. When the effect ends at a point where the lightning hits the ground, an explosion occurs, producing damaging shockwaves. That one sounds pretty cool too. Lastly, the melee ultimate ability is called Divine Might. The god envelops themselves in a deadly wall of flames before setting everything in its path ablaze. That one sounds pretty cool. It sounds something out of Diablo, but, you know, it still sounds pretty cool. So, as cool as those sounded, you still will gain 3 combat abilities. So these, I guess, aren't like these. These are probably more ultimates. You will gain 3 additional abilities, and they are Divine Healing, which pretty much it's a heal, restores your character's health. Willpower removes all crowd control effects and renders you immune for a few seconds to them. So yeah, that's cool. That's probably going to be super good in PvP. And Divine Form activates the Divine Form for as long as you have faith. So those are considered additional combat abilities. I don't know exactly what they do, but I'm just getting all this information off their notes, their website. Those divine combat abilities actually use something called faith, and faith comes through followers. So I don't know if it's something that regenerates or if it's just a flat number you get depending on how many followers you have. Another big thing that will be added with the new expansion is the ability to unlock the Divine Atlas. Because right now you have the class one where you just start out and you want to upgrade the one class you're using, which then unlocks the Ascension Atlas, which you unlock the classes with, the bigger one. And then once you unlock God form, you unlock another Atlas. And this is called the Divine Atlas. And you're able to specialize even more depending on what kind of character you want your character to be, whether it be a DPS, support, tank, or damage dealer. But specializing in the Divine Atlas goes even further than that. For example, you can even go for God of War. This will give you better PvP attributes. It's geared towards PvP. You have Gods of Hunt. This is better for boss fighting. You have God of Defense. Is better for PvE against mobs. You have God of Knowledge. This gives you new pieces of equipment. You have God of Authority, which goes to wisely manage, your order and your adepts. So there's all kind of specialized nodes in that tree, which really cater towards what you want to focus more on. If you want to focus more on just, the PvE side of the game, you have a node for that. And I don't know what this tree looks like yet, but it sounds like it's going to be pretty cool. You can really flesh out your character the way you want it. You want a PvP character, just go hardcore into, the PvP aspect of the game, then you can do that. If you want to be more into like boss fighting or, you know, PvE, you can do that. So there's more specializing than I thought in the game, which is pretty awesome, and that's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Did you guys know all this information? I just recently started looking through their website and their recent posts, and they started posting all this information, and I'm really excited. I didn't know there was going to be another Atlas once you unlock God form. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. If you found it helpful, if you liked it, don't forget to leave me a like. Let me know your thoughts. I want to know what you guys think of all this. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you already knew about this, or if you think it's a little too much grinding to get to 30.5k, I believe, just to unlock that. So yeah, leave me a like, leave me a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm Alex. As always, have a great day. Thanks.